Hey, what's up, everybody? Adam here from Saltarelli Web Studio. Today's video is going to be me answering some common questions I get asked as a professional in AI, making thousands of dollars every month. Hopefully, some of your common questions are answered in this video, and I'll try my best to do so. So, one of the biggest questions is AI going to take my job? Now, as of recently, I've had a lot of different views on this. I've had some people say AI is going to take over every job. Some people are going to say that AI is going to create more jobs. And I feel like I'm starting to lean more towards the side of that AI is going to create more jobs. And the reason I say that is because it's eliminating the bottlenecks of certain white collar work. So if paperwork was the biggest bottleneck for some businesses because they just have so much stuff they have to do, like legally or just communicative stuff, AI is able to speed that up. So it's actually creating more time for like the hands-on work that AI is not going to necessarily come for in a very long time. Now, if you're on the different end of the spectrum where your work is the stuff that AI is eliminating, for example, you're an accountant or you're a financial advisor or you just do basic repetitive computer work, that stuff's probably going to get slid off the table. And most of the technology is actually already here. Dario Amade a little while ago said that about 90% of the technology to replace all white collared work already existed. So it's probably here. Problem is that it's going to take time for the information to get out. Now, that's actually a good thing for you, but if you're in that position, but AI is going to help eliminate those bottlenecks and actually create more opportunities for the hands-on work that AI cannot touch. So I guess the next question would be, what should you do? Well, if you're not going deep into the AI hemisphere of trying to be the person that operates and actually controls the AI, then I would say go as far as you can into being hands-on. So like that's a lot of like trade work or being like a policeman or being a firefighter, something along the lines of they need a human being body to be there for the job to actually work. That's probably your safest bet, but AI changes so much that even a month from now, this video might be outdated. Question number 2, what's the difference between ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini? Aren't they all the same? Well, they do a lot of the same stuff. So they're all LLMs, which is large language models. So ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, you can all ask the questions and they're going to give you a personalized response back. But they all do a little bit of different thing, and that's what makes them each special. So ChatGPT recently has been on the decline because Claude and Gemini have been succeeding so much in other areas. For example, Gemini's image generation for a while has been known to be super dominant, and its ability to make songs as well. These are all amazing things that Gemini excels at. But Claude, for example, doesn't really work in the image generation space. It's more focused on productivity center. For example, if you need to measure data or crunch numbers or just build up your brand, Claude is really good at doing that, and it also has a lot of connections, so it can work and control your computer. So that's what separates Claude from Gemini. ChatGPT has been changing itself around recently, and its new image generation model, I would say, is a very dangerous competitor with Gemini. It produces some amazing images, and Codex is also very dominant, so that's another thing Claude and ChatGPT compete at. And the thing that ChatGPT and Claude compete at is writing code. Now, Claude, I've personally used a lot. Their Opus 4.7 model and their new Mythos model have been super dominant in the code space. But ChatGPT has also had their new 5.5 Codex model released, which has been very dominant. I played around with it a few times, and you can make some really cool stuff. I made some video games in a few minutes, so I'm not really as fine-tuned with what OpenAI is doing, but I do know that Claude is definitely marketing a lot of their big changes. You're probably your best AIs on the research and the creatives, but it's something that you can learn and try it for yourself and develop your own opinion. All right, question number 3. Is it cheating to use AI? So if you're in your job or you're at school, then that's how you would evaluate it. But I don't think it's cheating to use AI. I think that AI is a very good teacher, but I think you have to use it appropriately. Just like your iPhone. Your iPhone could be the greatest distraction in the world, or it could be the greatest tool that allows you to make thousands of dollars because you can communicate, buy investments, etc. So AI is kind of like that, where it could be your best helper or also your worst enemy. So if I'm using AI to give me an answer on something, maybe I want to teach it to me first. So for example, in the school context, hey, would you be able to tutor me through this topic and walk me through step by step to develop my understanding? Or Can you just give me the answer flat out and not have me understand it and then just pretend that I was the one that gave the answer? That's what I look at as cheating. If it's a teacher and it's actually going through the motions with me so I can develop an understanding and eventually I don't have to use it at all, then I look at that as a really good tool. I don't think that's cheating at all, but I think leveraging it just to give you the answer is a cheating in a sense. Okay, question number 4. How do you even start and get into using AI? So the simple answer is that there's no direct path. You can do whatever you want. So say if you want to start playing around with LLMs or you want to learn how to code with Claude, like you can start on any path. There's no perfect path, but the imperfect path is the most perfect one because there is no correct way to start. My advice, if I were to get into AI, would just be to myself to just start playing around with it. That's how I developed an understanding. I've only been doing this for a year now, and I've now learned to talk and prompt LLMs better. I've learned to Claude and ship real projects. And then also, I learned from it to grow my business and talk to people and improve my sales, my marketing, everything. But that only came from me just chatting with ChatGPT back and forth a few times. So it doesn't matter where you start, just using AI more and integrating maybe certain blocks of your day into it. So at the end of the night or on your weekends, you spend a little time learning it because especially if you're in a career setting where AI might affect you, it's very important to pay attention to it. There's also really good resources like the AI Daily Brief with Nathan. He goes through a bunch of the new news in AI every single day. It's completely free. You can go on Spotify and check it out. And I'll leave a link to it in description as well if you want to have a look. You can also sign up to newsletters. Anthropic has their own newsletter, so you can listen to exactly what big changes they're making in their business. Same goes with the other AI models. But the right answer is to just start integrating it into your life. So as opposed to just ignoring it, thinking, oh, it's going to go away, it's not. It's actually changing the world. But just start integrating a small time of your day or week into playing around with it like you would with any tool. All right, question number 5. Can I trust what it tells me? Doesn't it make stuff up? That last part is true. Yes, sometimes AIs hallucinate. Now, that's not always true at the start of a conversation, but when you constantly are chatting with an AI, you use up something called the context window. When you approach the max of your context window, which is essentially the AI's capacity to talk to you, it starts to hallucinate some things, to cut corners because it's using so many credits and tokens to get to that response that it wants to start minimizing all that, its limit. So yes, definitely take something that AI says with a grain of salt because it might not always be right. And that's why it's important to 1, choose your AI models, and 2, have a general understanding or do some background research before you ask the AI. So AI hallucination is usually only common after long conversations, but you can always ask the AI, hey, are you close to your context window? And it can tell you, yes, I might start hallucinating around now. That's the best way to verify if all your information is true or made up. All right, question number 6. Do I need to know how to code to use AI? No, believe it or not, I've shipped apps, websites, voice agents, and I don't know how to write a single line of code. All I know how to write is Claude, double hash, dangerously skip permissions in my terminal, and then just launch Claude. And that's the most beautiful thing about AI. It's the first system designed to be spoken to in English and then design code on the back end. I can tell Claude exactly what I'm thinking. Hey, make me this web app online so I can go track data in my business. And it can go and do that. And it would do all the code and it would make sure it writes all the HTMLs. It does all that stuff for you. I don't know how to write a single line of code, and I've been able to do all of these services. Okay, question number 7. What is a prompt and why do people make it sound complicated? Okay, everything on the internet is overcomplicated. Most things can be simplified, and prompting is one of those things. Prompting is just you talking to the AI. It's no different than you talking to a person, actually, quite frankly. When I'm trying to ask somebody for a question, say I want to ask them what happened on this event at this time, I have to be very specific. I just said, if I want to remember which day was my friend's birthday, and I just said to Claude, which day is my friend's birthday? I didn't say their name. I didn't give a general time range of when their birthday might be. I just said, when is my friend's birthday? Claude's going to be like, it might be here. It might hallucinate because it doesn't really know the answer. But if I give it specific constraints and I prompt it well, just like you would with a person, if I said, hey, my buddy's birthday is somewhere in June, and I believe it's around this week, and his name is this, then Claude's going to be like, oh, it's probably your friend, boom. Or that person would say, oh, it's your friend, boom, because it has more context. So essentially, prompting is no different than you asking a real person a question because all you're doing is just giving them more specifics. So if I'm trying to ask Claude to search my database for these specific numbers of my business, my close rate, my show rate, well, I could just be more specific and increase my likelihood of Claude actually giving me the right answer. AIs are so good now that if you're not getting your output, it's probably because you didn't prompt it right. So you can use Claude actually to plan your answer and to be more specific. That's why you notice when you use Claude, I'm very biased towards Claude. Claude is my favorite. It will ask you a series of questions so it can specify exactly what you're trying to get, as opposed to not hallucinating an answer and trying to temporarily satisfy you. So prompting is just how you speak to the AI. And if you want better results, prompt better. If you want terrible results and faster garbage, prompt like garbage. Okay, question number 8. Will AI become smarter than us, and is it this dangerous? Well, AI is already smarter than us, and in certain realms, when it comes to analyzing data, it, I believe, can run, I've heard a stat somewhere say 50,000 times faster than the human brain. So in the lens of that kind of competition, it is already exceeded. Now, when it comes to doing physical blue-collar work, it hasn't really touched that hemisphere yet. So humans are still dominant. That doesn't mean AI is not more smart, because it's really good at recognizing patterns and also doing it really quickly. So if someone were to ask me the statement, is AI already smarter than us? I would say yes. Now, is that unnerving? It depends how you look at it. Quite frankly, I think that it's a blessing, because now I have the smartest thing in the entire world in my pocket that I could ask any question to, and it can give me a super, super clear response that's also tailored to how I learn. So I look at it as an amazing thing. Now, is it an issue when people become too dependent on it? Yes, that is why you should do your own research beforehand and also take what it says with a grain of salt. Just like a human can give you mistakes, AI can too. Question number 9. Can AI really run a business, and what do you actually use it for? Now, this is something I hear thrown around all the time, and that's people on social media saying, AI made me $10,000. AI made me $15,000. And it's not AI directly doing the work, it's a person utilizing a team of AIs that people, of course, are paying for. So in my context, I build AI systems for businesses that help automate all their admin work, that help handle their online presence, that help boost their SEO, and help them get more leads. Then, in exchange, people are paying me for that because they're getting a result and getting more money themselves. Now, it might not be me writing the code or building up the website or me building the voice agent, but I'm still there to orchestrate the AI to help fine-tune things and then also communicate and shake the business owner's hand at the end of the day. I'm providing a service for somebody, and they are getting value in return. So the variable is just that I'm using AI as opposed to some other kind of labor work or white collar work that somebody would pay for. So now for work that AI can actually do, go look at people that have businesses, see what problems they have, and think to yourself, can AI fix this? Maybe even ask AI, hey, can you fix this? Because it's really good at doing that, and it's probably already implemented there. Most people don't really use AI to its fullest. I'd say most people use AI about to 10% of its capability, or probably even less, because most people just type on ChatGPT or Claude and ask it a question and get an answer back. That's just like a glorified search engine. What AI is able to do, it's able to replace all of your systems, replace all of your basic admin work like your bookkeeping, drafting proposals, writing invoices, all that stuff gone. Takes a lot of time. You have to hire people to do it. Not anymore. AI can do all that stuff like this and for a fraction of the cost. So for what I do, that's how I help business owners out. But there's always many other uses for using AI. For example, one of my other videos, I talked about how you can use AI to help you edit videos and produce thumbnails. That's a service you can do for business owners that aren't really aware of that stuff and also could really benefit from it because they value their time. So they're not going to care to go chat with an AI to build a thumbnail or thumbnails for the video. Or using something like Opus Clip to help edit long-form videos and produce high-quality short-form videos for business owners. So there are hundreds and thousands of uses for using AI. You just have to figure out how you can implement them into business owners and start talking with more people to understand what their problems are and how you can fix them. And our last question, question number 10. Is it worth paying for, or is the free version fine? Well, it really depends how quickly you want to get roadblocks, because most AIs now have very low barriers. You can chat with them a few times, but eventually you're going to get hit with the context window of, yeah, bro, you got to pay. So if you like running into that and you want to bounce back and forth between 5 different AIs just to get an answer, you can go ahead and do that. But if you take AI and help businesses, you're going to make money in exchange for using AI. So whatever cost you're paying to use that one AI, you're going to make 10x back, 30x back, 100x back from your service, depending on what you do, of course. So I'm not saying the free versions are bad. If you're trying to figure out and trial which AIs you like best, definitely do that. But once you find something that you really enjoy and a tool that you're starting to learn, definitely go into the paid version of it if you're going to use it to help make money back in return. And like any investment, there's no guarantee. So try out the free trials first, and then which AI you do find use for that can actually help you make money, then you should pay for that one, in my opinion. Okay, so to end off the video for today, I just wanted to let you know that AI is not as scary as you think, and the best way to protect yourself from it is to learn it. So starting today, I challenge you to just go pick up one AI. I suggest Claude, but you can choose ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, whatever floats your boat, and just start using it. Because in a year from now, a few months from now, you might be way smarter with using AI than you were if you had never started. So, of course, if you've got any questions to what I talked about today, just drop a comment down below and I will happily get back to you and answer them. And if you are looking for the best tools in the game to start your AI journey off on, just go down to the description or go over to my website and check out the free AI Operator Kit. It is the 8 best tools that I personally use to help me make thousands of dollars every single month using artificial intelligence. Once again, that is completely free. And if you're a business owner looking to chat with me and see how I can integrate some AI into your business, I would happily do an audit with you. And you could book a free call with my YouTube links, or once again, just go onto my website and we could get into a free discovery call, no pressure chat, just to see how I could help you out. Thank you so much. And if you want to drop a sub, it's always appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one.